everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a super late video because I've been spending more than 50% of my usual coloring time playing Minecraft with my husband. We had a lot of fun doing that quite often this weekend, so that is honestly why I did not get to posting a video. I also then made the silly mistake of staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning this morning finishing a really good book. Ooh, I should give you guys the name of it. It was really good. It was Entwined. Let me write it down. It was that good. Well, if you like fairy tales, it was that good. Entwined by... It was one of those things where I got, I was about halfway through the book. I've been reading it slowly over the course of about a week and a half, and I got to the middle of it, and it was so good I couldn't put it down. So, yeah. So because of that, and I've been working out again too, and I'm making it a goal to work out every night this week. Not that I expect to keep that pace, but I just want to kind of motivate myself and give myself a little kick in the butt. So I will be working out every night this week. So I just did that as well. So I'm quite exhausted. So it's going to be a short video tonight and a late video. But to make up for it, I'm going to try and do another one tomorrow. It'll have to be tomorrow because I'm going out Wednesday night. So I'll show you guys what I've been into. So let me just move my little disclaimer. So the first thing, let me just move some of the stuff out of the way. The first thing I'll show you guys is I finished the calendar from Kim White's Creative Happy Life Club. And I haven't added anything new to it except for the fact that I figured the weekend after Valentine's Day we could do like some kind of cute Valentine's Day coloring. But I just did this with gel pens last night. Well, I finished it last night with gel pens. Yeah, and it came out really cute. So I finished that. And then you guys saw this on Instagram. Is mostly finished, but I'd like to do a background still, but not in gel pen because that's going to completely demolish like 1 or 2 gel pens. So I think I'm going to do the background with marker. I think that would be the most efficient way of doing it. And I'm thinking of a light blue here. And then I might leave that white. I think we'll do the light blue here first and see what it looks like. Now, I was going to do the details on her dress in silver with the silver gel pen. But when I went to go put the gel pen to it, some of these lines are so fine that I was like, I am going to butcher the gorgeous pattern on there, so I'm not going to do that. So I just decided to leave it white, which is more of a reason to maybe color this. But we'll see. I'm going to do the blue first. And then we'll get there. But we're not going to do that tonight. I'll do that off camera and just check out my Instagram. And I'll post some update pictures on Instagram. Guys, I apologize if my voice starts getting bleh. But working out. And it was cardio. So I'm definitely thirsty. Drink your water. Drink your water, ladies and gents. So then the other night I was it was Friday night. A couple nights last week, I wasn't feeling too hot. So, excuse me. So one of those nights I was laying in bed and just doodling, coloring. This page also added the Disney book with gel pens. And I decided I didn't want to finish the page. Mainly because I was actually, this brown I was using on the calendar. And then I realized I might have used up like more than half of the gel pen already just doing these in the calendar. And I was like, oh, I don't want to waste it before I finish the calendar because at that point I hadn't finished it. So, and I decided, I don't know what I'd really use this whole page for, coloring it all the same. But what I have decided is I probably will cut some of these out and use them in my collaging. Or even I can cut a section out and use it as like a small background piece in a collage. So I'm not going to worry about doing the whole page all the same. I'm not going to use the whole page anywhere. But for sure I'm going to cut a couple of these out and use them in my comp book. So I have been neglecting my comp book horribly. There's no new updates that I can show you guys. since my last video last weekend. It is literally in the same state that it was with my 2 finished pictures and my half finished stuff. But we are going to do another video tomorrow, and we're going to focus on the comp book, and we're going to do another comp book video. So, and we're going to do some collage elements and something else I decided to with the comp book. So I'm doing my comp book project on the book. So there's the book series, The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. And the first book in the series is The Eye of the World. And that's what this comp book is on the first book in the series. And I think I read up to, I'm on chapter 48. And I haven't read any more because I started taking notes and writing stuff in on the first chapter. So I've been so focused more on the start of the story to fill in notes and thoughts and ideas for the beginning of the story that I haven't finished reading it. And then I started reading that other story, Entwined, that I got totally sucked into. So I've decided I'm going to go back, not finish the story, gasp. I'm going to go back and kind of quickly skim through each chapter as I go through the book again. So the end of the book is going to be a huge cliffhanger until we get to the end of this project. But I'm just afraid if I go and finish the story, I'm going to want to go jump into the next one, and then I'm going to lose enthusiasm for the comic book project, and I don't want to do that. And the thing about this story is there's so many characters, there's so many awesome settings and places and events that I know I'm going to go back and read it the second time, and I'm going to pick up on things that I didn't catch reading through the first time now that I know more of the overall story. So I'm actually excited to go back through it again a little bit more slowly. So that's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow we'll fill in some more stuff. We might do some brown paper art doodles or whatever to put in here, some collage aspects to put in here. And then something else I was thinking about is, like, I have this really bad habit when I draw, I put everything in pencil, I go over it with Sakura Micron pens, and then I erase the pencil, and that's what I started doing here because it's just what I'm used to, it's what I'm comfortable with. That way I'm not afraid of messing anything up. But I can't do that for every page in this book, or else I'll never finish it. I'll just never finish it. So I'm going to, on the note-taking side of the pages, I'm just going to use like a Bic pen. And then some aspects like collage bits, doodle bits, drawings, like this, I'll do in pencil and ink. But as far as like the more wordy note-taking part of it and doodle part of it, we're just going to go in with a pen, and it is what it is. So anyway, we'll get into more detail with that tomorrow. So that's that. So this is what we're working on tonight. So again, I'll go back and I'll finish that, and I'll post something. It's probably sometime this week. And that's finished, and that we're going to use. So this is what we're going to work on tonight. Oh, I've got like a pile of stuff over here. This is out of 50 Graceful Unicorns by Kameliya Angelkova, and I'm apologize because I'm probably not saying her name correctly, but this is the book here, and I do have a flip through on this on my channel, so just go back and look at my videos and you can see a flip through. But here, you can't really see her name too good on the front cover because it's just beautifully colored and illustrated. But here you go. So this is the illustrator here, Kameliya Angelkova. And I'll do a quick flip. This book is gorgeous. This was one of those books where I watched a flip through. I want to say it was Jen's channel, Reading with Pugs, but I'm not 100% sure. But basically I saw the flip through and I was like, yeah, I have to have it. It was in my cart, my Amazon cart, same day. I just had to have it. It's just a gorgeous book. So I'm just doing a quick flip. If you guys want to see a more detailed, slow flip, check out the video on the channel. But I literally just picked a book at random the other day. So that's the only other page I've colored in it. And I colored this with, actually I think I colored this with my Black Widows as well. But I was lighter when I was coloring with them. Well, I much prefer, unless it's a more of like a storybook type of book, or like a, I don't want to say if it's a cheaper book because that's not fair, but some of my thicker, sorry guys, my books are falling down over here. Some of my thicker books, like, for example, my Johanna Basford books, or my Kirby Roseanne books, I wouldn't tear pages out of those. But things that are thinner, more like, almost like more like a magazine, and don't have like a story to them, I have no qualms ripping the page out. It's easier for me to work on, and then I can go store it in my my display case thing. It's not a case, but it's basically a display portfolio with a whole bunch of plastic protection sheets. And so I put them in there, and the cutest thing about that, I'll have to take some pictures and post them on my Instagram, but the cutest thing about that is when I put my finished pictures in there, my 2-year-old daughter Abby goes through them all the time, and she talks about what's in the pictures, and she loves looking at the pictures. So I much prefer for something like this to just cut it out and put it in there, because it's something that can be on display for people to look at instead of it being hidden away in a book. Some books I'm just not comfortable taking apart. So what I did to take this one out, I'll just show you guys real quick. I took a piece of cardboard, and this is the back of like a notepad of paper, and I literally just kind of slipped it in here, slipped it behind the page I wanted to cut out, opened this up, and then I used a ruler and an X-Acto knife, and I got a decently clean cut that way. So that way it doesn't look like, you know, you risk trying to tear it, because these pages are not perforated in this book, and I don't want to risk trying to rip it out. First of all, I don't want to have a jagged edge, and second of all, I don't want to risk ripping the picture itself. That would just be awful. So I just used my my X-Acto knife. And funny enough, my husband got me that X-Acto knife so I could do model train stuff with him, and I use it more for paper crafts than anything else. Although we haven't been doing anything model train related because we just moved and we have to get a place to set everything up. Okay, so I am coloring this with my Black Widow pencils. This was a gift from my hubby last year for my birthday, and I have the three sets. So I have the Cobra pencils, the Scorpions, and then the original set, the Black Widows. And I think the only ones I don't have is the skin tone set, which I would love to get. I think those are the only ones I don't have, although if Black Widows come out with anything else since then, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just love, love, love my Black Widow pencils. It's one of those things that I couldn't tell you why I love them. I just do. I just love them. I like the colors. I like that the pencil itself is black, which is kind of cool. I like the way they color, and they're pretty affordable too. So I'm just trying to move stuff around a little bit. Sorry guys. These are the colors I've been using here, and what I'll do is I'll do this little piece of water, and then the water is the same color as the flower petals in the hair. I don't want to call it a her unicorn, because I feel like it's a he unicorn, but that's just me. That's the vibe I'm getting. But so I'll say his. So anyway, it's the same colors as what's on this blanket or shawl, and the flowers and his hair, and then the water. Sorry guys if I'm rambly tonight. I am quite exhausted. So anyway, the colors I'm using are grape out of the Cobra set, and that's CB118. And then, yep, this one. And then Galaxy Blue out of the Scorpion, SC11. And then, oh, actually, am I using that one or am I? Oh yeah, okay, I'm using 4 colors for the water actually. Forget Me Not out of the Black Widows, BW107. And then right here, now I didn't use this color on the flowers and the blanket, but right on the very back here where I feel like there might be more light shining, I'm using this lighter blue as well. Blue Heaven from the Scorpion set, SC51. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in this little section, and then we'll tackle something else because I'm going to be just basically doing the same thing for all of that. Now I've already put in, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys so you guys can see what the heck am I doing? There we go. So I've already put in the grape and those in my deepest shadow area. Even though it's not technically the deepest color, you could almost argue that the Galaxy Blue is, but I just liked how it looked when I did that for the flowers and the shawl, so I'm just leaving it like that. Not everything has to be accurate. It can be whimsical. Colors can be whatever you want them to be. Okay, so now the next color I would use is the Galaxy Blue. And I'm just going a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of a glare, I'm just going to do that. I go a little bit into the purple, but not all the way. I don't want to cover the purple because I want the pure grape color to have its own sections. So I'm not coloring or covering the purple all the way. And I'm really just I'm just going out a little bit from the purple or from the grape. It's just another layer of the more shadowed areas. So Black Widows aren't as creamy as Prismas, but they're not as hard as Polychromos. So whereas Polychromos I might go lighter and use more layers, on the Black Widows I can press, I'm using a medium to firm pressure, which I didn't on the other page. Let me just show you guys real quick. On this page, I don't know if you guys can see the difference between here and here. I didn't use hard pressure. I probably used a light to medium pressure on here. But here I'm using a medium to firm pressure, and it's really just making the colors very bold and vibrant, which is awesome. So you can really go both ways. And like I said, they're not as creamy as Prismacolors, but I'm okay with that. So whereas with the Prismacolors, the Galaxy Blue into the purple might blend more, I actually don't mind them in this case standing out from each other a bit. Only because I'm enjoying the look that I'm getting right now. So if you wanted a more smoother transition, you might want to use those. Although if I used a series of light layers, I might get a smoother blend with the Black Widows anyway. They're just so versatile in the way you can use them, and that's probably why I love them so much. They're just so versatile. So this area is probably all going to be the galaxy blue all the way down to the bottom here. Go a little bit into the purple just to blend it in a little bit. So when I'm creeping into sharp corners and such, I don't want to make my my shaded area as sharp as the corner. So for example, I'm going to take my grape and I'm going to do this area. See how there's like a, let me make sure you guys can see. See how there's like a sharp corner here? And then there's like more sharp corners in here. When I do my shadow, I don't want my shadow to be as sharp. So for example, I wouldn't do that and that and literally just outline it. I would start that way, but then I would want to soften the outline and make all these little corners smooth, rounded. And it just gives it a more cohesive, flowy, because it is water, just a much more smoother transition. Okay, so then we're going to finish these bits of water with the Forget-Me-Not blue out of the Black Widow set. And this, you know, just go, same thing like with the galaxy blue into the purple, go about halfway into the blue, but not all the way, because I want the galaxy blue to stand out on its own a bit. So maybe not even quite halfway, just a bit. And all of this is going to be this color. We're not going to use the lightest blue because that's more for over here on the horizon. So maybe we'll do a small section back here just so you guys can see that. Now, if I have a large section, I'll go up and blend in a little bit more. And even though this is all galaxy blue here, I'm just going to add on top of it, right at the bottom, a little bit of this color, just to give it a little bit of, like the beginning of the transition there. Okay, so sometimes, if it looks a little porous-y, where the pencil hasn't gotten into the greens of the paper, I'll go back over again with those colors and just push down with a harder pressure and basically burnish in the color. And what all burnishing is, my understanding of burnishing, you guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding of burnishing is basically we're just pressing down with so much pressure that we're smoothing down the greens of the paper, almost smushing them just to get a complete smooth pigment to paper. So if some of the areas are looking very porous-y with a lot of the white showing through, I'll just go back with my colors and just press down with a very firm pressure. Okay. So we'll do a little bit right here, just so you guys can see the light blue in there as well. So I always start with the darkest color, which is the grape, and there's not a whole bunch. If I look over here, there's not a whole bunch of grape that I'm going to use here. I'm probably going to not start using it until I get down over here. And sometimes I just go in lightly. I don't even use a firm pressure. This is just a medium pressure, just to kind of map out where my shadow is going to be. And I'm not worried about being perfect inside the lines at this stage. I mean, not that I want to go crazy, but if it's light enough, that'll get covered with whatever color I'm going to do. And then it'll probably be dark over here. And quite honestly, that's about it in that section. So now I'll go in just a little bit darker, especially closer to the edges. And again, if you look here, I'm gonna make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. If you look here, I followed the outline, but I'm gonna just soften this like this. Instead of it going, you know, like, instead of, if this is the hair, like this, that's the mane. Instead of me coloring it like this with sharp lines, I don't know if you guys can see what the heck I'm talking. No. Let me try that again. If this is the hair and I'm putting in the shading, instead of me literally just, okay, I'm following the shape, which I did at first, that is what I did, and then coming around here, I actually think I colored all that into about there, right? And I did it like that, and instead of just saying, okay, that's it, I'm taking this section here and just smoothing it, filling this back a little bit, just making it a little smoother. See the difference there? And it would look fine the other way too, but this is the look I'm going for here because it's water and it ebbs and it flows, and I'm just trying to go for smoother lines. So now we're gonna go back. We're just gonna go in and darken up some of these areas. And you can use a firmer pressure, medium to firm pressure here. And you can always go back again. I mean, you could go map in all your colors first with that light to medium pressure and then go back in and do this, but I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. So we'll probably go back again, but now we'll go in and use our Galaxy Blue, which is the next color. And I'm gonna go around these shadow areas. Just the next layer in the shadow to start with. And see how it's looking boxy right here? We're just going to smooth that out. That's good. So, a couple other things I might do here is because see how we have all these ripples here? I don't want to go too far up because it's going to get pretty light there, but maybe about here we're going to make one of these ripples the darker color. Maybe we'll do a little bit there, but not too much. Then right there. And notice how my ripples got a little bit smaller as I went up. Okay, and now that I've kind of mapped it out, I'll go ahead and just darken it a little bit. Okay, now we'll go into our next color, which is going to be the Forget-Me-Not Blue, but I need to sharpen it. So, on these pencils, I did notice something. I have two different sharpener. This is the Prismacolor pencil sharpener, and I have two different styles of sharpener here. And this side gives me this longer tip basically, and the other side gives me a shorter tip. And I actually usually use this side because I feel like it doesn't chew through my pencils as quick, but I found that this side does not work well on my Black Widows. I just can't get as fine of a point as I like to, and as easily as I can with my Prismacolors or my Polychromos. So I've actually been using the other side. Okay, so we're gonna color in most of this except for up here. So what I'll do is, we want a couple of these ripples here. There we go. I'm gonna bring this back here, and I'm gonna bring it in. Now most of this will get colored the Forget-Me-Not blue. I feel like there's something underneath here. Maybe not, maybe it's just me. Okay, and then again in here we'll just bring this in through a little bit, not too much, just enough. And then we can go in with our lightest blue. Oh, actually, something I did here, I don't know if you can see, but see how this is like a straight line across? To soften those edges, I actually bring the shadow up so it's kind of hugging those lines and making more of a curve. So that's what we want to do here as well. Just don't want to have sharp edges to my shading. So I actually have this creep up the sides a little bit, and see how it makes a little bit of a bowl shape. And now I'll go in and put my lightest color in, which is the Blue Heaven. So what I'm imagining here with my shading is that there are these vines and leaves coming down, and I'm thinking of penciling in with colored pencil, like as a more fuzzy background, more of them. But what I'm imagining is that like he's walking underneath maybe a willow, and he's inside the willow, but the light on the outside of the willow is shining on the horizon, and that's why that water is lighter back there. And then we're darker as we come forward, because we're in shadow this way. So the light source is coming from behind, and that's where I'm getting that idea. So I'm just gonna go in and burnish my darker colors now that I've mapped out my areas. Going back on my Galaxy Blue. Particularly the grape and the Galaxy Blue seem to need more going back and burnishing more. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna leave that there because pretty much I'm gonna use that same method for the other half of the water. But I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing there. But tonight, what I wanted to work on, let me zoom out a little bit so I can give you guys, oh, yep, zoom out, come on, you know how to do this. Just give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking. I want him to be like a lighter green sage color, but I want his hair to be darker like ferns or seaweed, and I think we'll mimic those darker colors on the willow branches coming down as well, but not quite as dark. They'll be like you know, sunlight bright spots shining on them too. And I was even thinking of doing I was thinking about doing a bokeh background, but actually I'm going to try and make it look like more vines coming down. But I'm not going to use any pencil lines. It's, lead pencil lines. It's all going to be colored pencil. So that'll probably be the last thing I do. So I think I want to look for two color palettes tonight. I want to look for a dark green palette for the hair and a sage green palette for the body. So let's just take out between our 3 sets. And I'm actually not missing some pencils, but before I moved, I had this habit of starting a project and not finishing it in one sitting, obviously. And I would put all my pencils in like a case or a cup, and when I moved, I must have been in the middle of a project and put my pencils in like a zipper pouch or something somewhere, and I can't find the few that I'm missing. But I will. They'll turn up. They're here somewhere. I'll come across them and be like, oh, that's where they went. Sip of water. Drink your water. So what I'm looking for, guys, is my little notepad. This is what I do all my scribblies on to figure out colors, and I've got like 3 pages left. I'm gonna have to get more of those. Can you get white sticky notes? Because that's essentially what it is, right? So I'm just gonna take out some green. I'm gonna literally take out like all my greens here, because it's not like there's a lot of pencils. So I'm literally just gonna take out all of my greens, or most of them. See, this is more turquoise. I don't know if that's something I'd want to use, but I'm gonna take it out anyway, because I don't know how to get the color I'm thinking of getting. Okay, I mean, this is more of a turquoise too, but we'll take it out for now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate them between, we're gonna separate them into 3 categories, I think. We'll have the dark green, the sage green, and then, you know, I'm gonna use the darker green here, but what I think I could use as bright highlights on those. So we'll just do that first. So this is obviously a brighter, this one's brighter. See, this looks very grub green. It looks like grassy almost, so I don't know about that one. That one might be more bright. But obviously more yellowy greens would be closer to the sage kind of color. And obviously I'm going to color swatch these out, and I might move them around just because of that. Yeah, that's more bright green. Dark. I don't know. I'm just going by the look of the lead, which isn't really good. So I'm gonna actually just grab a new one of these. We'll use the back side. Waste not, want not. Let's zoom back in a little bit so you guys can see the colors a little bit better. So let's just start with, we'll start with his body first. So let's try and look for this like kind of sage color, and this is very yellowy. I'm not expecting this to be what I'm looking for. Yeah, probably not. This looks darker, I think. That would be good for the hair, so we're gonna put that one aside for the hair. See, this is very green. Don't think that's what I want.